Hello, my lovely people. I can't contain myself. I feel like doing the Will Ferrell type of dance. It's Friday. And what a Friday it has been. Crazy things are happening behind the scenes. We're going to uncover it all in about 33 nuggets. And you know I like patterns and numbers. Crypto market cap 2.63 bit. Sorry, I'm getting by billions, by trillions. 2.63 trillion. Volume $130 billion. I'll talk about some crazy volume on the ETFs as well. Bitcoin 69K, right on the edge as I speak. And Ethereum just shy of 4,000. And Fear and Greed is back to 81. It's nothing but goodness. We're going to talk about new price targets. We're going to talk about my sandbagged new price target too that we can take to the bank. For anybody who bought at 15.5, you're going to make 10x your money on Bitcoin. And that's insane to even consider how fast this thing is running right now and how hard it is. So much to cover. And the game theory is on. It's mind-blowing. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Kyle. I really enjoy doing this as well, in case you haven't noticed. So even if you all weren't here, I'd still be doing it to myself. So thank you all for coming and appreciate all the support to Sir Winston and everybody else. Let's go. And speaking of the support, thank you to everybody on Patreon that makes the best content possible. This is from Hrs Ago, Patreon member. Love the content. So worth the monthly donation and such an amazing value. And yes, if you like this YouTube channel, there's even more on Patreon. So let's go. Thank you so much. People love the little shout outs as well. That's why we do it. And a thank you to the team that make it all possible. Also, Bitcoin only playlist is now alive and well. A lot of people just want Bitcoin only content. And you know, it's all you need really, because it's crazy. By the way, MicroStrategy hit $1,450 today. Bonkers. CleanSpark is almost at $20 again. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now the halving is closing in. We only have 40 days left. That's going to go so fast. And we have a lot more fireworks to happen. We had our $10,000 wick. Big flush. Little ripper today, but we're back up and back strong. Now let's talk about my little tweet storm today. 2 hours ago, I said new all-time high is incoming. And it was pretty clear from the chart. It was up and to the right. Everything was being bought. You can actually watch the volume. You can actually watch the buying and the so little selling. And there'll come a day when we have that $10,000 candle to the upside. The so-called God candle is incoming too. We just don't know when. Now we did break a new all-time high, 70,199 buckaroonies. Days range from 66 to 70,000. $4,000 swing in a very short window of time. And a little bit of a retracement as normal. But now it's back up again, which is really cool. Also, this is from Bitcoin Archive, 70,000, new all-time high. We hit that as well 49 minutes ago, an hour ago. It's crazy. Now, the most crazy thing, though, when you break it all down, is the ETF volume today. It is insane. Blackrock did $60 million in a little over 2 hours, okay? That is about $2.34 billion in dollar volume. It's going to be a freaking huge day, ladies and gentlemen. We're not even a third into the day. And these guys have done just one ETF. You know, over $2.5 billion. Way over at that stage right now. We'll check that later before we wrap. And what's going on? Well, the game theory is in play. This was flying around the internet over the last 24 hours. Nayib Bukele, obviously, total Chad when it comes to Bitcoin. He's like the Latin American sailor, if you ask me. Thank you, Texas T-Rex. But there are still rumors flying around of Qatar buying amid, I think it's a second Bukele meeting. And also Bukele was hinting a new Rome must be built. And we're seeing a lot of the signs of that as well across the Middle East, because they know this oil and gas stuff is going to run out soon. So they're hedging right now. And guess what the best hedge is? Yes, Bitcoin. So far, from what I see, game theory is on. It has become a rush to stack Bitcoin all over the world, all at the same time. And the question is, people know, the people that are semi-intelligent, they know the earlier they get in, the better off they are. It's that simple. That's what game theory is all about, and the Bitcoin game theory is one of the most special things I've ever seen in their lives. And then Ernst & Young comes in. They're like an accounting firm, and they did a little piece today or yesterday about, looking at things like the 60/40 bond portfolio and analyzing some Blackrock papers and talking about price targets and everything else. And they came up with this model where they see the Bitcoin price easily going to $600,000 to $1.2 million now. And they're saying this happens if there's only 0.5% of an allocation from a $200 trillion pool. Now, their multiplier is only 5 to 10. So Ernst & Young still have a lot to learn, because in reality, the multiplier I calculate is 59 right now, and that's going to 120-ish after the halving. And they're talking only a 5 to 10 multiplier, or amplifier, whatever we want to call it. That's what I started calling it in 2021. Anyway, $1.2 million from an accounting firm is kind of mind-blowing. And there's more. Skewness. This is the Blackrock paper, page 58 or something of it. And they talked about the bond portfolio. I have covered this before, but I thought it would be worth sharing again, because this is what Ernst & Young were kind of looking at. Now, there's a thing called a risk aversion coefficient, and investors are characterized by their degree of risk aversion, denoted by the gamma. And the risk aversion coefficient of gamma being 1.5 results in the traditional 60/40 portfolio. But, key thing about this paper is, with the Bitcoin allocation, the risk aversion coefficient stays at 1.5. And the paper calculates the optimal allocation of Bitcoin is 84.9%. And this is a substantial proportion of the rest. So when you have 85% in Bitcoin, that means you got 15% left for your bonds and equities. It's all in Bitcoin. And again, this is what's driving this crazy. The world is waking up. Game theory is on. Bitcoin is now a valid asset class, the 11th asset class that there is. And everybody is FOMOing in right now, hard. And we're 40 days away from the halving. It's going way beyond my wildest expectations. Speaking of new all-time highs as well, Fidelity broke another new one yesterday. Fidelity ETF smashes through its former record with $473 million of inflows yesterday. Okay, $500 million into one ETF. It's not even the biggest one. And their total Bitcoin holdings now stand at over $6 billion. In 38 days. 38 days. Madness. And then from Vivek, told you so. And they're like, well, now, literally, it's too late. It's too late for me to chase. 2014, it was too difficult. 2018, it was too risky. 2022 was too expensive. And 2024, it's too late. And 2030, it hits $1 million. And the point is, it's never too late, ladies and gentlemen. And now everybody is saying, not only me, but I have people coming out of the woodwork saying, is it too late? What do we do? And then even people in the community are being peppered by people that come out of the woodwork that they haven't heard from their brother-in-law in 2 years. All of a sudden, the brother-in-law is on the phone. Too late? What should we do here? Help. It's kind of funny. That's why we get in early, get in hard. Shout out to this brilliant community as well that did all that. Now, more breaking news. Crypto's back. Crypto exchange volume, daily volumes rose to $100 billion for the first time since 2021, according to the block. And volumes have only been above this point for less than about 50 days in its history. All right, in December 2023, monthly volumes on exchanges broke 1 trillion mark for the first time. So again, volume is back. Buying is back. Today is going to be a monster volume day as well. Now, there is a little bit of bad news, though. The SEC did reject spot ETF options. SEC delayed its decision on approving options trading for Bitcoin ETFs, extending its response time to the CBOE exchange and the Miami International Securities Exchange, as well as the Nasdaq's bid to offer options on Blackrock iShares Bitcoin Trust, IBIT. And this postponement allows the SEC to take up to 90 days with a new decision deadline set for April 24th to consider the request thoroughly. They're just trying to delay the inevitable. Options are coming, and that's going to be great for us at the top as well. I'm very excited, and we'll be doing lots of options training on exactly how to hedge your Bitcoin when the time comes, if the time comes. We'll look at some charts at the end as well to show you where we're going to go, how hot it's going to get too. Also, shout out to Roubini. Roubini is a financial guru, and he said exactly 4 years ago, Bitcoin is a poop coin that's headed to zero. And since then, Bitcoin is up 900% over all fiat currencies, while Roubini has launched his own crypto. I mean, these people, you know, I was on Cyberbulls yesterday. We were talking about governments and academics and everything else, and it's just how they've all lost their way. So sorry, we did go down a bit of a rabbit hole last night and things got a little heated, but it was worth it. So shout out to Herbert and Alexandra and, of course, the whole gang that was there. Let's talk about this too. The gold bugs are losing their minds fast. Shout out to Laura Shin. She had Eric Balchunas on the channel. Basically, the big takeaway here is how the Bitcoin ETFs in 7 weeks did what took gold 3 years to do. All right? 3 years it took gold to get to the same level that these things did in 38 trading days. Bonkers. To give you a visual of what this looks like, just yesterday, Bitcoin inflows had $563 million in, and gold drained $85 million. That $85 million going out of gold is going into Bitcoin. If you do have big gold holdings, don't plan for the end times. If the end times come, you're going to be screwed anyway. And shout out to Bitcoin Monger as well, who put this together. TikTok, this flippening will be televised. Again, gold hasn't gone anywhere for 50 years, hasn't gone anywhere for 12 years. And if you take away debasement, you're losing money. It's not going to get better. There's a new gold in town, everybody. My job is to help you see the light. No offense to your gold bags. In addition, breaking news, Bitcoin Archive just in. Bitcoin ETFs continue to pull hundreds of millions of dollars in every day, often more than $500 million. All right. We've only had 2 red days in the last 30 days. And that big grayscale turd will be flushed pretty soon. And then there'll be nothing but positivity out there as well. So let's break down all the numbers as we do. Day 39, raw numbers here. You can see that grayscale was kind of heavy again, 374 million down. But with Fidelity taking in $500 million, it doesn't matter. It's gone. Blackrock had a small day, $250 million. But they're going to smoke that today. That's guaranteed. By my calculations, they're already way above that level of inflows today. And what else is going on? Like, there's certain things, I always say winner takes most. This chart talks to that exactly. You've got certain things like HODL and BTCW and EasyBC. Well, EasyBC has some money. But others, you know, like BTCO is just draining. They're simply not going to make it. It's going to be winner takes all. There'll be 3. ARK, Fidelity, Blackrock, and the rest will be crumbs. Now let's talk about the macro update, the view since inception. Again, after all the days we've had. You see Fidelity had their biggest day ever. That's the blue line. Blackrock took a breather, but that's going to be up tomorrow when you're here with me. I'll show you all the numbers again. And you can see the bit of a dip from Grayscale. But again, they're going to be out soon because they've lost already a third of their Bitcoin in a very short window of time. So not only did the ETFs absorb that nearly 200,000 Bitcoin, but they also absorbed another huge stack as well. Anyway, let's look at this. We had another very good money day. It's not the 12th best money day. It's more like the 8th best. So it's a slight typo. Day 39. Total money, look at the red line up and to the right, and then the blue line is the kind of vertical daily action for the chart. And again, I need to add the total to the right axis. Remind me to do that later. We had $19.6 billion of inflows into the 9 new ETFs. Let's just call it $20 billion, which is a massive amount of money in just 39 trading days. And we now have nearly 400,000 Bitcoin into the new ETFs. 400,000, okay, in 39 days, and miners are only producing 900 a day. It's wild. It's very wild. A new visual as well. This is how many were pulled from the system yesterday. 7,059 Bitcoin were pulled from the system. Yesterday was 5,000, or the day before was 5,027. The day before that was 10,000. The day before that was 8,000. So this week, in just 4 days, we have, what's that? 12, 22, over 30,000 Bitcoin in 4 trading days taken from the system. Okay? And for any kids in the audience, what's 4 times 900 and subtract 30,000? That's how much has been pulled from the system. And that's why this game theory is on. So while we wrap, I'm going to show you a couple of quick charts as well. Bitcoin chart time. First of all, my new conservative sandbagged bull target is now $155,000 per the LILO model. And that looks like it's going to be very achievable. Let me just tell you one thing. We are pretty much at 70,000, 40 days before the halving. Whatever price we have at the halving, you can conservatively double that. That will be the absolute sandbag target we're getting to this year. So we could very easily be at 90K in 40 days. If that's the case, we're going to $180,000 Bitcoin. And remember, even if you go to $155,000, that's a 10x from the bottom. 10x when we were buying things like MicroStrategy under $190. And that puppy hit 1,450 today. It's completely wild. So that's the new target. And let's overlay the top and bottom indicator to see how hot we are in the market. I thought it'd be a good visual. Throwing everything together, we're looking at the chart, Bitcoin chart and daily. We're looking at the previous peaks. It is logarithmic as well, just so we can squeeze everything in. The blue is the price line. LILO models there on the right with the $155,000 target based on where we are today. And the TABI model shows you the heat of the market. We are still yellow. We had that beautiful dip into lime green for a while, but since then it's been yellow. We still have time to accumulate a little bit. Once we get to orange, maybe a little time, but don't expect your 10x gainers at all. And then after that, we go dark orange. And then after that, we go red. So we are climbing this hill. And again, this is built from about 20 different on-chain indicators. This time could be a little bit different, but more or less it will hold and track exactly where we are. So everybody be safe out there. You don't tell your loved ones they told you so, because they're not going to like hearing that. Thank you to nearly 6,000 people watching live. The market's back. Thank you to the mods in chat and K8 and Cybert and everybody else. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all later, everybody. Thank you. Hit the like on the way out too, so we can get the message out. That literally one wrapping thought before I forgot to check the price and the ETF volume. But remember, game theory is in play. All right, let me just go to, actually while I'm here, check the actual Bitcoin ETF volume and see how big it is going to be today. Hold on one second. Bear with me. This is too interesting to see. Wow. Okay, Blackrock volume is already near 70 million. 70 million. Multiply 70 million by 40. It's massive, massive numbers. That's $2.8 billion in volume. One ETF. One ETF. And it's good to see the volume for Fidelity is higher than that of Grayscale, which means the Fidelity intake will be higher than that of Grayscale dumpage. Thank you all for coming, everybody. I'll see you all later. Have a good day. Bye.